Attack on Titan. It's one of the most popular and highly regarded anime of all time. Within this show, there are several amazing arcs, and today it's my job to rank them from worst to best. But before I can do that, I need to identify how many arcs make up the Attack on Titan anime. This ended up being a lot harder than I initially thought it to be, but for the purposes of this video, I've decided on 9. In chronological order, these arcs are the Fall of Shiganshina arc, episodes 1 through 2, the Battle of Trost arc, episodes 3 through 13, the Female Titan arc, episodes 14 through 25, the Clash of Titans arc, episodes 26 through 37, the Royal Government arc, episodes 38 through 49, the Return to Shiganshina arc, episodes 50 through 59, the Marley arc, episodes 60 through 68, the War for Parity arc, episodes 69 through 80, and the Rumbling arc, episodes 81 and on. You might be wondering what happened to the 104th Training Corps / Humanity's Comeback arc. Well, I decided to combine this arc with the Battle of Trost arc, as the 104th Training Corps arc is only 2 episodes and it's pretty similar to the Battle of Trost anyways. I also decided to give the Rumbling its own arc, because I think the story does shift significantly from the War for Parity arc, alongside the quality, making it easier for me to rank. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight into these rankings. Coming in at last place, the 9th best arc of Attack on Titan, is the Female Titan arc. I want to start by saying that just because this arc is in last place doesn't mean I don't think it's good or I don't like it. I did enjoy it while watching it for the first time, and I still enjoy it while rewatching it every time. Going into what I like about it. It further introduces us to the Scout Corps, expands on iconic characters like Levi and Hanji, and introduces a great new villain in the Female Titan, aka Annie. This arc starts on a high note, with Eren's trial in front of the military tribunal, where we of course get the iconic scene of Levi kicking the shit out of Eren just to prove a point. After the trial, Eren and friends officially become scouts, while Hanji imprisons 2 Titans while acting as insane as ever. I think they might have made Hanji seem just a little too crazy here, but she grew on us over time. We also get introduced to Levi Squad, which definitely won't be dead in a few episodes. The beginning of the 57th Scouting Expedition is our main character's first time outside of the walls, dealing with Titans in the wild. The actual encounters with the female Titan are very exciting and of course hint at the possibility of the existence of even more sentient Titans, like the Colossal, Armored, and now the female. We get some great tense moments with Eren and Levi while chasing down the female Titan, with Eren of course deciding to trust Levi and the squad. Even though we've only known them for a short time, the death of Levi's squad does hurt. We also get to see more of Levi and Mikasa showing off their skills, which is always welcome. The final showdown with Annie and Stohess is epic, with Eren turning red and unleashing this weird power that we literally never see again. But hey, it's pretty cool. Eren defeats Annie, but can't finish her off before she turns into a crystal, and is left to deal with the consequences of his actions. But who cares about the deaths of hundreds of people when we get an epic Titan fight scene? Overall, good arc, and rest in peace to Levi Squad. Now, onto 8th place, we have the Fall of Shiganshina arc. I struggled with deciding where to rank this arc, as on the one hand, it's the foundation for all of Attack on Titan, and sets the best story ever in motion. But on the other hand, it's only 2 episodes long. Despite its short length, I still think it's pretty great. That's mostly because it has one job, which it does extremely well. That job is, of course, introducing us to the world of Attack on Titan, and making sure that we stick with the series. I don't think I've ever heard of a person who didn't get hooked on AOT after the first 2 episodes. The show goes from being totally peaceful to absolute chaos within a matter of seconds upon the appearance of the Colossal and Armored Titans. The first 2 episodes really capture the chaos and dark themes that we come to know and love in AOT. Probably the most important part of this arc is Carla, aka Eren's mom's death, which gives Eren his motivation to kill all the Titans, which I'm pretty sure he repeats at least once an episode until the end of season 2. It also sets us up for an insane twist that doesn't come until almost 10 years later in real life time. But hey, it still happens. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, that time we find out Eren basically killed his mom. Yeah. There's not that much to say about this arc, as it's only 2 episodes long, but it does set the stage for the entire show, and I think it's solid, and obviously the entire show couldn't exist without it, so I appreciate it for that. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the Battle for Trost arc. Onto what I like about this arc. First of all, this is where we begin to get to know many of the iconic AOT characters. In the first episode of this arc, we get introduced to John, Connie, Sasha, Reiner, Bertolt, Emir, Krista, later Historia, and of course everyone's favorite character who definitely won't die before the end of this arc, Marco. We also learn a lot about Eren and his motivations to kill every last Titan. We also get to see the Colossal Titan once again, the first use of ODM gear for Eren and co, and of course get to see Eren transform into a Titan for the first time. It's pretty jarring to see the main character of the series get eaten in only the 5th episode, but as we all know now, his transformation was just as shocking as his near-death experience. We literally get the iconic sequence of Eren carrying the large boulder to the gate and resealing the wall, preventing any other Titans from entering. We also have the death of Marco, who unfortunately only made it to episode 13, rest in peace. Although at the time it seems pretty inconsequential, because he only gets like 20 words of dialogue, we would constantly be reminded by him about every other episode by John until literally the last episode of the entire series. Overall, this arc isn't bad. It introduces to our main characters, Eren's powers, and the overall dynamic of the show. There's a lot of great action scenes, and it's not a bad job at the show's first real arc that lasts more than 2 episodes, and I doubt anybody would get bored or decide to stop watching AOT because of it. Next up, in the number 6 spot is the Royal Government arc. In my opinion, this arc can be very underrated at times. I've seen some people rank this as their least favorite arc, which is just crazy to me. This arc explains so many things about the world of Attack on Titan, and does so much to expand it. The Royal Government arc, as its name suggests, shows us how the Royal Government actually works for the first time. It also displays the theme of a shift from fighting Titans to fighting other humans. The arc begins with the scouts being framed as traitors by the government, forcing them into hiding. In response to this, my goat Erwin puts a genius plan into motion to expose the entire royal government and their fake king. Yeah, turns out the guy who everybody thinks is the king is actually a fake, and the real king is named Rod Reiss. He's also Historia, aka Krista's dad. Yeah, I meant it when I said this arc explains a lot of things. We learn that the Reiss family had been carrying the founding Titan for a while now, meaning that one of them would have to eat one of their family members every 13 or so years? Sounds like fun. Anyways, the Reiss family had held the power of the founding Titan for all this time, until we learned that Grisha, Eren's dad, took the power of the founder by eating Frida Reiss right around the time of the fall of Wall Moria. This of course would mean that Eren now held the power of the founding Titan. Upon learning this, Rod Reiss captures Eren and plans on making Historia eat Eren to regain the power of the founder. Historia originally agrees to this, after Rod gaslights her into thinking that he's loved her all this time and that now he'll be a good father to her. However, right as it's time to eat Eren, Historia rebels, choosing to place the value of her friend and humanity as a whole over her absent father who got her mother killed. What a hard choice. Seriously though, Historia really comes into her own throughout this arc, especially with this decision, showing that she's her own person now who won't be controlled by anyone. Despite Historia's decision to betray her deadbeat father, his plans aren't completely ruined as he's able to slurp up Titan juice off the floor to transform into the ugliest Titan we've ever seen. The gang gets back together to defeat Rod, with Historia dealing the final blow, simultaneously establishing herself as the true ruler of Parity. Oh wait, it's not called that yet, scratch that. Establishing herself as the true ruler of... just the true ruler. Overall, I think this is a really solid arc that explains a lot about the world of AOT and its inner workings. Historia also establishes herself as so much more than this cute waifu who we come to know her as. She's now independent and is capable of ruling a nation. Well, maybe not capable yet, but she will be eventually. Sad thing is, this is the best we get to see of her, and she gets sidelined for the rest of the show and kind of becomes miserable and hates her life. But, oh well. Now, in the number 5 spot, where things really start to get good, is the Rumbling arc. I'm sure some of you are wondering why I rank this arc so low. Well, in my opinion, this arc takes a dive in quality compared to the Marley and War for Parity arcs. Keep in mind, I'm not including the specials in this. I'm just talking about Season 4 Episode 22 through Season 4 Episode 28. I'm not including the specials because they weren't released at the same time and they also deserve videos of their own. Anyways, the arc begins with Shiganshina becoming overrun with Titans, just like back in the very first episode. Except this time, the Titans are actually the people we know, former soldiers who were transformed by Zeke using his spinal fluid. This creates a really emotional sequence where our main characters have to fight and kill their former comrades, including Commander Pixis. While all this is going on, the rumbling continues to cause chaos as the Wall Titans head for Marley. One of the unintended consequences of the rumbling was the undoing of all Titan hardening, finally freeing Annie from her self-inflicted crystal prison. I was really happy that Annie got brought back, as she was such a great character, but had to get sidelined to prevent us from learning too much about Titan shifters too soon. The Marley gang and the Parody gang are forced to come together if they want to have a chance at defeating Eren. This doesn't come easy, as we get almost an entire episode of them bickering amongst themselves. The new group finally reaches the port, only to find it guarded by Jaegerists. They'll have to fight to get to the flying boat. Oh, did I forget to mention the flying boat? Yeah, there are a lot of bizarre things going on in this arc, like Connie wanting to feed Falco to his mom to bring her back, which I also forgot to mention. Anyways, the Parody gang is reluctant to kill all of their former friends, but it's the only way to stop the rumbling. They're able to secure the flying boat, but not without killing at least some of their old friends, those being Samuel and Daz, who we totally all remember. The fight scene at the port is epic though, and we finally get to see Annie's female Titan back in action, but this time it's on the side of the good guys. Overall, I think this arc is solid, however, it feels like it's not able to stand on its own two legs as a good and compelling arc. I think it's good, but it's really carried by the context that it's in. Eren's also barely in it. Coming in at number 4, just missing out on the top 3, is the Clash of Titans arc. This arc makes up the entirety of Season 2 and is also really damn good. This arc begins by introducing us to the Beast Titan, who is absolutely terrifying. Poor Mike had to experience this firsthand as he had a fatal encounter with the Beast Titan, who toyed with him before ordering the Titans under his control to devour Mike. During this encounter, we also learned that the Beast Titan is able to communicate using English. If we needed further proof of the Beast Titan's intelligence, he would be able to steal and dismantle Mike's ODM gear and take it with him, perhaps for further study. We also discover that there are Titans within the area protected by Wall Rose, which makes no sense as there's no breach in Wall Rose. Scouts confirm this after splitting up into groups and riding along the entire length of Wall Rose. During this mission, a group of scouts, including Ymir, Krista, that was still her name back then, Reiner, Connie, and Sasha, come upon Utgard Castle, an abandoned castle where they decide to spend the night. During the night, they get surprise attacked by a huge group of Titans, which makes no sense because at this time we believe the Titans could not move at night. Things are looking dire until, out of nowhere, Ymir transforms into a Jaw Titan, revealing her true identity to protect her friends. Ymir is able to hold them off until reinforcements arrive, and Eren finally gets his first Titan kill. Crazy that it took this long for the character whose entire personality said he wants to kill all the Titans to actually get a solo Titan kill. Good for him though. The new, larger group all meet atop Wall Rose and attempt to plan what to do next, especially regarding Ymir's newly revealed secret. This is where Reiner, out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere, reveals him and Bertolt to be the armored and colossal Titans respectively. We're all familiar with the scene. It's one of the best in AOT and even all of anime. But still, it hits just as hard as the first time during every rewatch. After the shocking reveal, Eren and Reiner fight in their Titan forms in one of my favorite fights in the entire show. This fight was insane, and it was honestly crazy to see two grappling on the ground with Eren pulling out jujitsu submission attempts. Eren fought well, and would have defeated Reiner if it wasn't for Bertolt's big-ass head falling on him. Birdie and Reiner successfully kidnap Eren and Ymir, taking them to the forest of giant trees. In case you didn't know, in this entire sequence, Eren isn't able to transform into the Attack Titan to fight Reiner and Birdie because his wounds haven't fully healed yet. No arm Eren looks kinda funny. Still feel bad for him. Anyways, the scouts begin their mission to retrieve Eren, with tensions at an all-time high. As the scouts approach, Reiner transforms into the armored Titan and carries Bertolt, who's holding Eren, and heads to some unknown location. During all this, Ymir has agreed to cooperate on her own free will, riding on Reiner's back and holding off some of the scouts. Erwin comes up with one of his signature gambles and decides to lure a group of Titans towards Reiner by getting them to chase him and the others. This dangerous plan results in many casualties, with Erwin himself even getting his arm chopped off like a Kit Kat. The plan ultimately works, with some manipulation by Armin and heroics by one-armed Erwin. The scouts' success doesn't last for long though, as Reiner starts chucking Titans at them, dismounting Eren and Mikasa from their horse. Eren and Mikasa then come face to face with what they both know to be the Titan that killed Eren's mother. Just like Eren and Mikasa's first encounter with the Smiling Titan, everyone's favorite drunken member of the garrison, Hannes, shows up. This time though, instead of running away with the two kids in his arms, Hannes puts up a good fight, but sadly dies, as Mikasa is too injured to help and Eren's unable to transform due to his still healing injuries. Eren starts losing it, then has a cute moment with Mikasa where she almost confesses her love for him. So close. In the scene that we're all familiar with, Eren punches the Smiling Titan, releasing a surge of energy and somehow causing the Titans around him to all run towards the Smiling Titan and attack it. Reiner realizes that Eren is the one who holds the power of the Coordinate, which just means the power of the Founding Titan. The only reason that Eren was able to tap into the power of the Founder was because the Titan that he punched, the Smiling Titan, was actually his dad's ex-wife, Dinah Fritz, who possessed royal blood. We find this out way later, but it's pretty crazy to think about in retrospect. Isayama's ability to think ahead and lay out these bits of foreshadowing that go completely over our heads at the time is crazy. After this, it's pretty much happily ever after as the scouts retreat successfully. Except it's not happily ever after, because almost half of them died retrieving Eren. Overall, this arc is amazing. From the insane fight scenes to the emotional struggles that come with accepting Reiner and Bertolt as enemies. This arc is everything that makes AOT as good as it is, and it's when a lot of us realized that we truly had something special on our hands with Attack on Titan. Coming in at number 3, earning the bronze medal, is the Marley arc. This was definitely one of the most anticipated arcs around the time of its release, as it was the first post-timeskip arc and just set the world of Attack on Titan on fire. I mean, we had already learned so much at the end of Season 3 after arriving at the basement, but this arc took it to the next level. Eren is missing somewhere in Marley, and Marley is planning an invasion of Paradis. We get introduced to characters like Falco and Gabi, who show us that the bad guys really aren't so different from the people of Paradis. Maybe not so much Gabi, because everyone hates her, but it really isn't her fault that she was practically brainwashed since she was a child. This also helps us better understand our old friends Reiner and Bertolt, by seeing what they had to go through at such a young age. It really was never their fault. They just did what they thought was best for their people. As tensions escalate, Willy Tybur, a rich Eldian who's actually respected by Marleyans, declares war on Paradis. Right around the part where Willy Tybur declares some guy called Eren Yeager as the true enemy of Marley, Eren transforms into the Attack Titan and eats Willy in one of the best scenes in AOT. Just as planned, the scouts show up a little later, fitted up in some new black gear with ODM 2.0. An insane fight featuring a lot of Titans ensues. I'm not kidding, there are a lot of Titan shifters involved. Let's see, there's Zeke and his Beast Titan, who's secretly on the side of Paradis. Of course Eren, there's Porco and his Jaw, which is sad because it means that he ate Ymir. There's the newly introduced Warhammer Titan, Reiner, and eventually Pieck. Yeah, the point is there's a lot of Titans. Oh, I must have forgotten that Armin also shows up and wipes out a port, killing many innocent civilians with his Colossal Titan nuke. Poor guy. He never wanted to make the Marleyans go through what he had to when Shiganshina fell, but he did what he had to. Back on the ground, Eren's actually struggling a bit with the Warhammer, until Mikasa shows up to bail him out, as always. As I mentioned earlier, Porco shows up but doesn't do much and almost gets eaten, along with the Warhammer Titan, who does successfully get eaten by Eren. Well, kind of. Eren doesn't exactly eat the Warhammer, but is able to get its powers from drinking this blood. Pretty much everything goes to plan, and the scouts are able to retreat successfully once again. But wait, it wouldn't be AOT if something didn't go wrong. Remember that annoying girl from earlier? Well, she's actually able to get aboard the ship and kill Sasha. Rest in peace, Sasha. You will be forever remembered. Overall, this arc is just really good. While writing the script for this part of the video, I was really close to moving it up, but I just couldn't. The arc is really excellent as the first post-time skip arc, and it really broadens the world of AOT, but I think the two ahead are simply better. In second place, securing the silver medal is the War for Paradis arc, the arc directly preceding the Marley arc. Honestly, it was so difficult for me to decide which of the two I liked better. In my mind, they're basically tied, but it was really two episodes that pushed War for Paradis slightly ahead. In my opinion, Memories of the Future and From You 2,000 Years Ago really explain so much about Eren and the entire show in general, just barely giving the War for Paradis the advantage. If you want to hear me talk about one of those episodes, go check out my video about Memories of the Future. And no, bringing up those two episodes wasn't an excuse to plug my other video. They seriously reveal everything about Eren in my opinion. Anyways, the arc begins with Paradis struggling to figure out what to do next after successfully raiding Liberia. Eren becomes increasingly fed up with the direction that the scouts and the government wants to go in, believing that the power of the Founder should be used to protect Paradis now. Eventually, he forms the Jaegerists. Tension grows between Eren, Armin, and Mikasa, until that iconic scene where Eren acts totally out of character and unleashes himself on poor Armin. The Jaegerists stage a coup and gain control of the island after overthrowing the military. All while this is going on, Marley launches a surprise counterattack, believing that it's best to strike quickly and first to prevent Eren from using the Founding Titan to crush them. A series of epic fight scenes ensue, with Eren fighting against the likes of Reiner, Porco, and others, while occasionally showing off his newfound powers gained after consuming the Warhammer. Things get even crazier when we learn about Zeke's real plan to prevent all Eldians from having children with the power of the Founder, in turn preventing them and the world from suffering. Zeke's plan, although noble, does not sit well with Eren at all, who wants to go through with the rumbling. Eren, of course, values his people over the people of the world, and doesn't care what wrongs the people of Paradis have done in the past. He's solely focused on securing the future for him and his friends. The remnants of the Survey Corps begin to realize they're going to have to try and stop Eren from going on a genocidal rampage. But looks like it's too late. The rumblings already started, despite Gabi shooting Eren's head off. Zeke, being the good big brother that he is, catches his little bro's decapitated head and brings it back to life with Titan magic. Overall, the arc continues the greatness of the Marley arc, only expanding on what we learned before. Shiganshina is, once again, turned into a battlefield, where we get some of the best action in all of AOT. Don't forget the emotional conflict experienced by everyone as they slowly realize that Eren is serious about defecting and doing this whole genocide thing. We also get a lot of insights into how Eren is thinking for the first time in all of Season 4. We finally made it. Number 1. Before I say what it is, I want to thank you guys for making it this far into the video. I know it's been a long video, but seriously, thank you. Anyways, I'm sure you've all figured it out already. There's only one arc left. But in first place, taking home the gold medal, is the Return to Shiganshina arc. Only 2 words come to mind when attempting to describe it. Absolute peak. No matter how much I say, no matter how long I talk, I'll never be able to do it justice. I don't think that any piece of media can be better than this. Seriously. The arc begins with the scouts rolling up to Shiganshina, initially unharmed. That is, until Reiner makes his iconic entrance. Zeke soon appears on the outer perimeter of the wall, blocking the path of escape. The scouts soon become sandwiched, fighting 2 battles on 2 fronts. On the inside, Eren and friends fight Reiner, while on the outside, Erwin and the recruits fight Zeke and his titans. Eren and co initially defeat Reiner, with help from Hanji and Levi, and are so close to finishing him off, until Bertolt gets shot into the battle, literally, transforming into the Colossal Titan. While the inside of Shiganshina is being devastated by Bertholt's Colossal Titan, the outside is getting carved up by a large barrage of rocks thrown by Zeke's Beast Titan. Looks like all that catch with Mr. Sauber finally paid off. As I'm sure we all know, Eren comes up with one final gamble to attempt to give Levi a chance at Zeke. Erwin decides that the best course of action is for him and the recruits to charge at Zeke to provide a distraction for Levi. The charging of the scouts and the use of their flare grenades would provide enough of a distraction for Levi to get close enough to Zeke to deal real damage. Commander Erwin, the ever wise and cunning leader, in his last order, commands the scouts to charge, and so, the captain sinks alongside his ship, as the scouts charge in, already knowing their fate. Rest in peace to the GOAT. Levi knows that he can't waste the sacrifice of Erwin and the recruits, and is so close to killing Zeke. Although he can't finish the job, Levi does enough to take Zeke out of the fight for now. Back on the inside, Armin is trying to come up with a plan to take down Bertolt before he reaches the wall and breaks it down. While attempting to think of a way to get Eren to the wall to seal it off with his hardening, he realizes that while Bertolt is exuding steam from his body, he is vulnerable as he can't move. The issue is that none of them can attach their ODM gear to the muscles of the Colossal Titan because of the heat and wind being produced from them. Armin theorizes that the bones of the Colossal do not emit heat or wind and therefore can be attached to by ODM gear. To begin their plan, Eren purposefully slips off the wall, causing Bertolt to think that he's incapacitated. Armin then flies towards Bertolt, catching his ODM gear between his teeth. Armin's theory was correct, and he was able to stay in front of Bertolt. Armin holds on for as long as he can, literally burning to a crisp, leaving his life and all of his dreams in Eren's hands. Just as Armin is released, and Bertolt stops releasing steam, we see a completely hardened shell of the attack titan sealing the wall. Just as Bertolt realizes this, Eren sneaks up behind him, slashing his nape open and yanking him out of the Colossal Titan. Armin, just as Erwin had done mere hours ago, decides to risk his life on a gamble for the greater good of the scouts. In reality, they both knew that they would die from their plans, but went through it with them anyways. This is what makes it so hard to decide who will live when the scouts realize that they must pick between Armin and Erwin to give the Titan injection and eat Bertolt. Ultimately, it's Levi's decision, and he almost immediately chooses to bring back Erwin. However, he realizes that Erwin has been ready to die and is content with his life and accomplishments, while Armin is still young and has so much to live for. Levi gives Armin the injection. allowing his old friend's soul to finally rest after a life of much turmoil and adversity. With the walls secured and over half of the scouts dead, including their leader Erwin, the remaining group finally arrives at the basement. The next few episodes are spent exploring Grisha's memories and what knowledge he left behind about the world outside their walls. This is where we learn about Eren Kruger and how Grisha got a hold of the Attack Titan. The remaining scouts are given medals by Historia, and this is of course when we get the iconic scene of Eren kissing Historia's hand and getting all of Season 4 spoiled for him. Poor Eren. His life really just went downhill after this moment. The scouts finally reach the sea, and it's just as beautiful as they imagined. Sadly, Eren struggles to enjoy the beauty as he's focused on the enemies that lie ahead. Overall, this arc is just so amazing, giving us some of the best action scenes and some of the most emotional moments. We also learn so much about the world of AOT towards the end, which sets the foundation for Season 4. Thank you guys for sticking to the end.